Katy Perry is unraveling. And this time, it's not just a messy breakup or a career stumble, it's a full-blown collapse. A personal, professional, and emotional meltdown unraveling in real time while the world watches with bated breath. Orlando Bloom didn't just walk away, he torched the last remnants of what once looked like a fairy tale. And if you think this is just your run-of-the-mill Hollywood heartbreak, think again. This story has all the ingredients of a modern cautionary tale. Ambition, fame, ego, betrayal, and the unforgiving spotlight of the digital age. It all started spiraling after Katy's much-hyped, widely mocked 11-minute journey into space. What was meant to be a defining moment, an audacious PR stunt to reboot her relevance, became a meme-ridden embarrassment that not only bombed in the court of public opinion, but seemed to irreparably damage her relationship with Orlando. Insiders say he warned her, repeatedly. But Katy didn't listen. And now she's paying the price, not just with her career, but with her heart. Let's rewind. This wasn't just another celebrity split. Katy and Orlando were once one of Hollywood's golden couples. From their playful beginnings in 2016 to the birth of their daughter Daisy Dove in 2020, they were everything fans wanted in a love story. Sweet, goofy, romantic, seemingly grounded. The engagement in 2019 felt like the peak of their fairy tale. But behind the scenes, the cracks were forming long before the cameras caught wind. The space trip was the turning point. Imagine gearing up for a literal journey to space, an act of ambition and bravado that only the richest or most famous can afford, only to return to Earth and realize your partner didn't even find it impressive. That's exactly what happened to Katy. Instead of praise, she was met with ridicule, both publicly and privately. Orlando allegedly called it embarrassing, cringe, and ridiculous, words that cut deeper than any tabloid headline ever could. What she hoped would reignite their connection instead exposed just how far they had drifted apart. And if that wasn't enough, Katy's much-anticipated album 143 only made things worse. Meant to be her triumphant return to the top of the pop world, it ended up being her most criticized work to date. Critics labeled it bland, confused, and out of touch. Fans who once saw her as the queen of chart-topping empowerment anthems now saw a woman grasping for relevance. What stung even more was the backlash over her decision to work with Dr. Luke, a controversial producer accused of abuse by fellow pop star Kesha. Fans didn't just reject the album, they saw her collaboration as a betrayal. Orlando reportedly begged her not to go down that path. He warned her about the optics, the timing, and the damage it would do to her already fragile reputation. But Katy, driven by pride and the pressure to prove herself, doubled down. She poured her heart and soul into 143, and when it flopped, it wasn't just a professional disappointment. It was a spiritual crisis. This album was supposed to be her comeback. Instead, it became a symbol of everything falling apart. And as if the album flop and space ridicule weren't enough, Katy leaned hard into a series of publicity stunts to salvage her image. Shirtless treadmill videos with Orlando, over-the-top interviews spilling intimate bedroom details, awkward social media attempts that had fans collectively cringing. One insider said it best. She wasn't trying to make music anymore, she was trying to make noise. And Orlando? He was reportedly over it. He's a private guy. He never signed up to be a sideshow in a pop star's PR campaign. The more she pushed, the more he pulled away. Behind the scenes, they were clashing over everything, from parenting styles to career choices to who would attend the Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez wedding. Yes, even the guest list became a battlefield. Katy didn't go, citing her tour in Australia. Orlando did. And that decision stung. Deeply. Not just because it felt like a betrayal, but because Bezos was one of the key backers of the Blue Origin space program that launched Katy's infamous 11-minute ride. The same ride Orlando had mocked. The same moment that tanked her credibility. His presence at the wedding felt to Katy like an insult. A silent but public reminder that they were no longer on the same team. Meanwhile, Orlando seemed to be thriving. While Katy was trying to pull together the shreds of a shattered career, Orlando was starring in his own docuseries, To the Edge, performing extreme stunts, skydiving, cliff jumping, reclaiming a sense of adventure and control that seemed miles away from Katy's downward spiral. For him, these stunts weren't just about adrenaline. They were about clarity, renewal, escape, and maybe even distance from a relationship that had become toxic in the harshest spotlight possible. Insiders say he tried. He really tried. He asked her to slow down, to listen, to stop chasing approval and just be herself again. But Katy, driven by desperation, couldn't hear him. Her identity was so tied to her public image that she couldn't separate the artist from the person. She kept pushing, kept performing, even as the applause faded. And when Orlando finally walked away, it wasn't just a breakup. It was a complete dismantling of her world. She's now a single mother, co-parenting a daughter while battling internet ridicule, industry rejection, and internal chaos. Every move she makes is dissected. Every smile is questioned. Every Instagram post triggers another round of think pieces and comment wars. And through it all, fans are divided. Some see a woman unfairly vilified, abandoned by the man who was supposed to love her through thick and thin. Others see a cautionary tale of what happens when ego and fame override reason and humility. But here's the truth. There are no heroes in this story. Just two people who lost their way, pulled apart by ambition, bad advice, conflicting values, and the merciless glare of celebrity culture. Katy's downfall didn't happen overnight. It was years in the making, a series of bad calls, stubborn pride, tone-deaf decisions, and a refusal to pivot when it mattered most. And now, she's stuck picking up the pieces of a life that once looked picture-perfect on red carpets. Orlando, for all his thrill-seeking and stoicism, hasn't escaped criticism either. He left at the worst possible moment, right when she needed a partner the most. Some say he emotionally checked out long ago, only sticking around for the optics until he couldn't anymore. Others argue he was exhausted, tired of being used as a prop in a desperate attempt to sell an image that no longer matched the woman he once fell in love with. And let's not ignore the internet's role in all of this. Katy's space trip is now a punchline. Her album is a meme. Her relationship is a think piece. And her entire identity has become fodder for a public obsessed with watching celebrities crumble. Fame builds you up to tear you down, and no one is immune. But still, there's a pulse. A flicker of fight left in Katy Perry. She's been counted out before. She's faced personal heartbreaks, public ridicule, even career extinction. And yet, she's always found a way to claw her way back. This may be her darkest chapter, but the story isn't over. If there's anything left of the firework, it's buried under disappointment, exhaustion, and disillusionment. But it's not gone. Not yet. Katy Perry might be down. She might be broken. But if history has taught us anything, it's that pop stars don't go quietly. And neither will she. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and sound off in the comments, because trust me, this saga is far from over.